This is the Red All Over preview show for the big Yorkshire derby on Saturday at Oakwell, 3 o'clock kickoff against Huddersfield Town. We'll talk about all things Huddersfield and, of course, can we get a win? Let's get into it. So, Al, being that you were at Stockport, and just to clarify matters before we even start, you are in the Ponty on Saturday, aren't you?
I am in my own seat.
Great. Okay. That's something to bear in mind when we get the score predictions later on then. So, not great for us. We are not won it anywhere since the 4th of January. What would you like to see change Saturday?
A win. Simple as. I don't know. His hands are tied, isn't it? I mean, does Humphries come back in instead of his new lad who only had 45 minutes as big a signing in January window? I don't know. We're still without Mark Roberts, aren't we? I think it's the last game that Robbo is back for Rotherham. I just don't know. I don't know how we can turn it round with how we've been playing. They're just not gelling. They're just not clicking. It's got to change at some time, hopefully on Saturday, but it's not going to be easy against Huddersfield Town, who we played it twice in October and inside 4 days lost both games 2-0 to them. So I won't like to be honest, in Derek Clarke's shoes to try and change it to make things happen. I'd like to see us low knee start who we've got from Wolves as wing back. That will be a start. But it's more or less his side's picked for him, innit? With what we've got.
Well, Craig, is it picked for him? Does he go back to a back three, or do we persevere with that first half sort of disaster of last week? What do you think? Is he going to go back to his steady formation?
Back to a back three. Like we said in the last video, our players can't do a back four. I don't think the right profile of players to play in the back four. As wing backs are far too attacking for it for a start. If we using Gent and O'Keefe, they fly up the wings, and we need the defensive cover. For me, it's all about the midfield. In the next game, we've got to try and get a good shape, and he's got to pick a three. He's got to pick a commanding three, and he's got to stop changing, because I think that's part of his issue. Having too many players that are swapping and changing every other game, it's doing nothing for team cohesion. It's doing nothing to help people get relationships with each other. Also, we've got to give this new lad 90 minutes, no matter how bad he's playing. We've got to get him used to the physicality of this league as fast as possible. And I think fetching him off at half time is doing him a disservice and doing us a disservice. He needs to acclimatise. He needs to acclimatise quick. And let's be honest, all our hopes rest on whether DKD scores or not. And that's it. That's purely it. Because nobody else is chipping in with nothing. You know, Humphries is a really good player, but he only turns up in half the matches he plays. I think that's, you know, he tries, but DKD is that guy that is a constant performer. And people say he goes missing in matches. I just think people don't find him. You know, he's definitely somebody with an eye for goal. And if people don't find him, that's not his fault. You know, so for me, that's where it all rides on. But yeah, back three, it's got to be. Can't have another first half like that again. Not against a team like this, because they'll destroy us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come on to Huddersfield in more detail shortly. But Andy, if we don't score again on Saturday at home, then I think that's the third 3 no-scoring games that we've played, and I think that's the first time since February 22 we've not scored at home for 3 consecutive games. Do you see us being more attacking? Do you see us playing with a bit more of a sort of forward-thinking side?
We've got to do, haven't we? We just got to do. There's no point at 10th in the table, 6 points behind Huddersfield are in the final place. We can't go for a draw or go to not lose and then hope that we get a win. And now with Craig, it's got to be a back three. And I actually think the back three will pick itself, but I do think there's players in there that need to sort themselves out. I've been thoroughly disappointed with Josh Earl over the last few games, and I've always stuck up to it. I think he's a good player, but he's not a fullback. So hopefully, back in his central defence, he'll be a lot better. Similarly, with Donovan, he's got to. He's a strong guy, and he was shoved off too easily against Stockport for their first goal. But I think they'll be there. There is some interesting dilemmas, though. Does he play Gent at left wing back, or does he play Ferrugia there, who's our erstwhile striker? Does he play him there? Is he fit enough to start? I don't know. I'd hope so, because I thought he'd look good when he's played. Or does he play Lembikisa at left wing back, or does he play him at right wing back? There's some alternatives at wing back, unlike in defence at the minute. Midfield, there's a few you could choose from. I don't know if they're all going to pick themselves. Up front, do we play DKD and Humphreys? If Humphreys is back from illness, sorry, or does Humphreys play with Rodriguez and drop DKD back a little bit? In midfield, could DKD play there with Phillips, Set and Connell, or with Russell, or with Kalachi? There's some big choices to make there. He'll have some idea, leading up to this game. And with Craig, I'd like to see. I think I'd like to see the new lad playing up front, but with somebody to play with, not a midfield player that's moving about. I want DKD to be able to go where he wants to go. Similarly with Phillips, they can interchange, but it means somebody not playing. They can't all play. So it's going to be interesting to see where our lineup is. But we've got to go for goals, and we've got to try and score. We're making chances. Stop putting them straight at the goalkeeper. For goodness sake, I hope they're practicing not putting it anywhere near middle at goal, because every header, every shot, straight down goalie's throat. So that's getting a bit wearing. And we've just got to defend better. And it's what we said the other match: you can score more than you concede, and job's a good one. But let's be right, Huddersfield out pulling up any trees at the minute, but they've got a good squad, a good team and a good squad. And they absolutely hammered us twice. I know one were our, for want of a better word, our second team in what I'm still going to call for, in Josh's memory, the pizza trophy. But we were rubbish both games. So we've got to do better and get among them. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit whatever.
In Josh's memory, he's not dead.
Well, you said that, but we might decide that Tracy's better and we don't want him back. I don't know. I hope not, because he's doing thumbnails.
I didn't know whether to get a candle or not.
Well, can't do if you. Well, we got Shutter Joe. We could just get Shutter Josh and all, let him take on caring duties. Get well soon, Georgie. Taking on some caring duties. After you've done the thumbnail, though, Josh. Don't do it before you've done the thumbnail. But in his memory, because he's missing this show in his memory. He'll not be at the instant reaction show, so it's going to be a week before anybody sees Shutter Joe. Let's hope.
Joe.
I'm in read all over history.
I'm Joe.
Josh, we're all confused there.
Andy.
We did it to Joe. We could do it to Josh, just as easy. Joe will be there on Saturday for instant reaction. He'd better be, because he's recording it and editing it, so he'd better pull his finger out and get his send there. So we've revived him. Let's hope we can do the same with Josh next week. Oh, no. Right,
well, let's turn to Huddersfield. We don't have a stats pack, because as we've realised, we don't have a Josh, so we've done a stats pack. So I've done a very quick sort of off the made, so there's no fancy graphic. But Huddersfield, although are in sixth, having played 29 and got 49 points, 6 points ahead of us, have actually not won since the 7th of January. Last game, 0-0 draw against Reading. They are struggling of late. Their league position is teetering the same as us, but not quite as bad. Key signings, they made some really strong January signings in Dion Charles and Joe Taylor. Obviously, Joe Taylor, probably fortunately for us, is likely to be missing on Saturday, but Dion Charles is likely to start. They've also got the likes of Freddie Ladapo, etc. on the bench. Their key man, from what I can gather, is Ben Wiles, attacking midfielder, scored 6, assisted 4, attacking centre midfielder. pretty good away from home. And of course, we have the added spice of Mr. Duff returning, and Herbie Kane will likely to start against us as well. So, Craig, with that in mind, how are you feeling about this? I just feel started the season very well, good Christmas period, and then I've sort of had a bit of a rough time of it of lately. Happy to see Michael Duff back at Oakwell.
Yeah, like I say, I still respect him as a manager. I think he one of his better managers. And he moved on for money and for the betterment and to be closer to his family. So I've got no ill will against him. Kane, on the other hand, I think he were a good player for us in spells. Seemed to drift off in his last season, but I think his thoughts were not on that season. I think they were always on the next part of his career. Look, they're a team that's got some firepower now, and they did what we should have done in January, and for that I feel a little bit bitter that we didn't have the same ambition as they have. Their owners, their manager, their sporting directors, whatever you want to say, have shown some real ambition about what they want to do this season. So I'm quite envious of that. So I want to beat them just for the fact that I don't get to be in their position every week and think that my team's going up the league table rather than down it. But yeah, it's a strong team. I think we've not beat them in 5. We've not won in his last 5. They've not won in their last 5. So there's a lot of 5s going around. So
5-all then.
My score prediction is going to be 5 goals total.
And another 5. I found out the last 5 games we've played them at Oakwell, we've not lost.
Well, yeah, that one when Oakwell used to be good. Now it's more like a. But Alan's not in the box, so there's always a chance. We've kicked him back into Pontiend. We've told him no more. We're not having it. He does not cut the mustard anymore. But yeah, it's going to be. Look, Yorkshire Derby, fans are going to be up for it. I just hope the players are up for it, because the fans will be there if you show them that you care. We want some nice meaty tackles, not enough to get booked. We want some lads running. We want to see the team with energy again. I'm sick of just seeing these players just dawdle through games instead of get it their all when they clearly haven't. And like I say, I think a lot rests on DKD's shoulders. I was thinking when you were talking, Andy, the possibility of playing
Steady,
DKD.
Craig, steady.
No, playing DKD maybe a little bit deeper, like get a bit more involved in play could be a smart thing to do. But then again, do you really want to lose some meat and some tenacity in the midfield, knowing that their midfield's as strong as it is? I'm not quite sure. I don't know how I feel about that. But like I say, I'm not paid to be a manager. I'm just sat here giving opinions. Just throwing theories out there and seeing what sticks. But it's gonna be a good game. I just hope we can win. We need something. The fans need something.
Yeah, Al, based on that, I hope we can win. I think if we're being brutally honest, if we don't get something out of this game on Saturday, it could really put a massive dent in our any faint hopes of making the playoffs, because 6 points difference from them. I know they've got a game in hand. Obviously, beat them, that makes it 3 points. Irrelevant of other people around us, I get that. But then lose 9 points, what's it, 16, 15 games to go after that?
Yeah.
It's actually quite a big game.
It's a must-win game, isn't it? And if we're thinking they're still pushing for a playoff spot, it's a must-win game. Although we've not scored against them in 180 minutes, have we? So it's got to change. But I don't see how it can change. I'm not that confident. I think we're lacking. I think we're lacking that goal scorer. I think we're lacking someone who can get a brace. And I don't know. We need an early goal to push on, I think, on Saturday, because they're going to be up for it. They're going to want to put a show on in a big Yorkshire derby. I'd say it's a big game for us, and as I say, there's a lot of our fans not happy at the moment what's happening around Oakwell. So it's one of them, isn't it? I think fans should get behind them, but then again, I can see when fans aren't getting behind them, I can see both sides of the equation.
Yeah, coming back to that, and Craig mentioned about the fans being up for it. It'll be interesting to see whether the fans will be up for it or not. Obviously, we've got the prospect of a potential 8-minute late protest, etc. And then we'll see what happens after that. But it'd be interesting to see what happens in that first 8 minutes, and also whether, when the fans then do come in, for those that are protesting, if the atmosphere is positive rather than toxic. Andy, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be noticeable?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, if you look on the form of both clubs, you'd expect both set of fans to be quiet and fed up, because they should be fed up and all. But as you've all said, it's a local derby. They should bring good numbers, if not full numbers, with them, and they'll get behind their team. And so for me, and I do believe the Barnsley fans will, irrespective of whether, whoever protests, and it's entirely up to each individual fan whether to protest or not. It's entirely up to them, and support me whatever they do. Once they're in the stand, get behind the team, because you can bet that the Huddersfield fans, despite their position and how their fans are feeling about how they're playing at the minute, they'll get behind their team. We have to do the same. We need to create that atmosphere to help the team crack on and get stuck in. First 8 minutes is going to be whatever happens in the first 8 minutes. So it's going to be at the very least interesting. I hope it's not going to disrupt the flow of the players, because they need to get at it from the first minute, and then 8 minutes onwards, get behind them. That's all. Get behind them. Leave everything else behind and do it before or after. But during the game itself, when they're in the stands, just get behind them. And I'm sure that the vast majority, if not all the fans, will do that, and that's playing your part in it. And I do believe that Barnsley fans, like Huddersfield fans, will play the part in it. Before or afterwards, do what you feel you need to do. So should be a good atmosphere. But it could easily get rattled. It could get rattled for Huddersfield fans and all if we go a couple of goals up. They might get toxic as well. So
the positive difference is they've spent big in January. They've spent nearly 3 million on Joe Taylor, 1 million on Dion Charles. It's figures that we can only dream of. Craig, there was the message that went out about the Darryl Clarke Zoom meeting with players, and we're yet to see any sort of something happen coming of that. Is there any sort of free agents that you would be thinking, you've had a look around the last couple of days thinking, I hope it's them?
There's a few, but none I think we'd go for, because I've heard it's an American, so God knows. Kemar Roof is one. Ryan Kent is another. Two outstanding players I think could transform this team. But I don't think we've got the ambition to pay anywhere near the wages that they want to be getting paid. And plus they don't fit the age profile, so that's the main reason. And personally, for somebody who's in the age range that our owners like to look at, for them to be out of contract, it don't mean that they can't be a very good player if they're willing to accept low wages and still not be in the club. For me, I think they're just throwing that out there so they can keep us hoping. But personally, I don't think it's going to be anybody or any real stature in the game. I've just ambition this season for me has just gone through the floor after the January transfer window. The fans that are protesting, you go, you do you. I paid a full season ticket. I'm gonna go to all games, and if it comes to a point where I'll just not go to games. If I stop enjoying the games, I'll just not go. I'm not one of these to be doing protests and stuff like that. I ain't got time, I ain't got patience, I've got a family. I've got better stuff to do with my time. But yeah, it's I hope it's some like hugely underrated striker that's going to bring energy and bring enthusiasm and all this, and that's what I hope for, But I mean, we've signed some terrible strikers over years. It'll be another Odial there, something like that, or Alera Seika. Somebody that'll come in with all good vibes, and we'll be a brother of somebody who was great once, and everybody get hyped up, and then He'll play 13 minutes in second half for a game, and then we'll not see him for the rest of the season, knowing our luck.
And it's all gone quiet, hasn't it, on the Zoom player, the interview, Clarke and that, it's been success. We've done all right. All of a sudden, there's nothing in it. It's gone dead again.
Well, yeah, there's been stuff around today. I've read a bit today that, there's something was going to be announced or whatever, but it don't appear to be today. And I suspect if it is tomorrow or Friday, we're unlikely to see any impact from them. Al, I was going to mention about Josiah Dyer because Daryl Clarke mentioned after Saturday that he didn't think he did enough in training, or alluded to the fact that he thought Farrugia had done more in training than Dyer. How do you think that sits with Dyer as a young lad, and looking at sort of the Farrugia, who's a wing back? I know he has played up front. What do you think about that?
Well, his dad will make sure he don't get too low, because his dad knows all about it, Bruce, doesn't he, about the game. But I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong when you've got a striker on the bench and you're struggling and you're 2-0 down. You need that striker. And I mean, I've seen him at under-21s. He puts himself about. He scores goals. So I don't understand why he didn't come on at Stockport County. I mean, it's beyond me. And there's only Daryl Clarke, as you say, can answer that one. We were there on Saturday, and we were, to be honest, mesmerised when he put Farrugia on and he went up top. He didn't do nothing wrong, but he's not a goal scorer. And when you're behind, you need somebody to put ball it back at net. And Dyer, irrespective that he's not played much first team football, it could have just been that one spark. We don't know, and we'll never know, will we?
And I just want to like chirp in on this point, because I think it's absolutely abysmal. If these are messages from Clarke to the board or whatever is being blown around Twitter, this is the wrong time to do it. They can't sign anybody now. The time for messages were last month. The time for messages are gone. So don't be putting people out of position to send a message, because it's not going to help. For me, if you've got a striker on the bench, you play that striker. No matter how inexperienced they are, because they're on that bench for a reason. Because they're getting towards being experienced enough. And for me, he's been clapping goals in. We need goals. Everybody has to start somewhere. So give him a chance. For me, it was a stupid decision. And Farrugia should be put at left wing back where he likes to play. I don't agree with this sticking plaster tactic stuff that he's been doing, where he puts people in odd positions that they're not used to. It doesn't work.
Square peg in round holes.
Yeah, square pegs in round holes. Josh Hill left back. He's not a left back. He's not got the legs for it. And he's putting Farrugia up front. Yeah, he can run with the ball. Yeah, he can. So can Humphries. But, you've got a striker there that's been shooting in practice every day since probably he was 5. You're going to tell me some guy who plays left wing back's going to be more composed in front of goal? I doubt it. So for me, you've got to. Do you know what? Right, I'd send a message to every striker that's in this club, and I'd start Dyer. I'd say, right, you're not bagging any goals. This guy's up front with DKD next game. We're going to give somebody else a go.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I can't see it happening, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Andy.
You got to remember that we don't see them in training, so we don't know what they practiced. We've no idea. But it did. I'm with Craig in as much as it did seem strange putting a left wing back up front and putting a central midfield player at left wing back. That's felt a bit more than a bit odd to me.
Before we do our score predictions, if we flip this around a little bit, because obviously it's all a bit negative at the minute, understandably so, with the form we are, the transfer window, etc. Let's imagine we beat Huddersfield on Saturday and we all walk out of Oakwell with smiles on our faces. Do you think that could be the sort of the start of a change of things to come, or do you think it'd still be an upset fan base?
There's a lot that can happen in a week, isn't there? With players coming back from injury or wherever, you never know. Lightening the load, but one swallow don't make a summer. I mean, just I try and get somewhat positive. Think back to around Christmas and New Year, both for Huddersfield and Barnsley, both were winning. We were full of optimism. We'd won 4 games on the trot against quality opposition as well, both home and away, and we're all giving it some. We're 5th, we could get up to 2nd, we could get automatic. the transfer window comes and we're thinking, oh, we've got to do ours to kick on. Get an extra one or probably, hopefully, 2 strikers of some quality. And they were knocking about, there were players knocking about. I don't particularly want Dion Charles myself, as it happens. I don't want somebody that potentially, from what reports could be entirely wrong.
By saying that, don't you? You know exactly what's going to happen now, don't you?
He's going to score it first minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll go down at penalty box and score a penalty, won't he? But he'll have to fight Herbie Kane to take it, no doubt. We needed to kick on. James Collins goes to Lincoln, he goes to Huddersfield and all that. So there's a few knocking about. From a positive standpoint, 5th and looking upwards, with four excellent wins and battling performances as well as quality performances, a window to kick on and to build on that. And we all know we needed it, and I have no doubt that the board knew that we needed it. We didn't. And so now, a month on, 4 losses and a draw, and we're up. Strikers injured, strikers not performing, defenders injured, defenders not performing, suspension. The whole bag of mashings has come crashing down within 4 weeks.
The wheels have well and truly fallen off.
Well, we've gone from heroes to zeros. Can we get back up to heroes? Who knows? It's not looking positive at the minute, but it's always darkest before the dawn. I'm trying to get some cliches in to try and make us all feel a bit better. So I think anybody watching this won't be feeling better at all. So, who knows what could happen if we could get a win? And I don't care if it goes in off of somebody's backside. I don't care. Well, I was going to say I don't care if it even goes in off of Matty Pearson's backside, even though he's unlikely to be playing because he's injured. But if he just trotted on, if he got lost a bit and it hit his backside and went in, I won't care. We just need to win. The need to show, for me, winning's the most important thing, but the second important thing is that they get stuck in and show that they actually give a monkeys. So, whatever happens, it's either all and out, really, because if we don't win, we're just going to shimmy along mid-table and just make sure that we're looking down as well as up, looking down to make sure that we don't go further down.
Without getting into the details of it, but if we don't win, then if we lose in a manner that we have done recently, I can see that there'll be then news about Clarke as well as the Hunters. So anyway, we'll cross that bridge. Hopefully, we won't have to cross that bridge because we're going to get a result on Saturday. So, Al, score predictions. You're back in the Ponce, so we've put a bit of pressure on you the last few weeks because it's clearly most of this is your fault. I can see that Cosgrove's been turned round. So, it's a new beginning for you. It's like a new beginning all over again. We've signed somebody, have we?
No, I'll just give you my team, what I've got on FanUp.
Oh.
I've gone Gauchi, McGivney, Pines Earl, O'Keefe, Phillips, Connell. I've took Russell out and put Wakali in, Lemberniski, Keeler-Dunn and Humphreys. I've put Newlad on bench. I've put yes. He's
how many wing backs we playing now?
Pardon?
Who's playing where? I don't know. I don't even know why I'm getting involved in this. I don't care, Alan.
And Levinsky a wing back.
Left wing back. Oh, right wing back, Al.
I can play anywhere. We'll mix it up. We mix it up on Saturday.
Let's hope
pegs around all Al.
Somebody save me, Craig. Save me.
I can't see being a 3-0. Put it that way.
She only wanted a prescription.
Right.
I think you need a prescription, Al.
So you've
Tracy needs a prediction.
I've been on this. Sorry.
What is that? Is that milk?
It's It's
Don't want to know.
I can't think. We haven't scored last 2 games, so Tom. I'll go for Andy Special 2-1. Go on.
What to us?
I'll. Yeah, it's. Yeah.
We got there again. Is that Bailey's?
That's what I'm thinking. He's definitely.
He's hammered. Oh, he's well on his way.
Oh, that's it.
Look, they've driven me to drink. It's wrong.
He's trying to numb feeling already, and we know got to.
And I'm actually drinking milk.
I want tea.
Yeah, just pop for me. So, wow. Right, Craig. I mean, where to go after that, I've no idea. Like, but probably the pub. I think we only do this pub. But right, give us your score prediction.
We ain't got it in us. 4-1 Huddersfield. I think we're going to get smashed. I think Dion Charles and Herbie Kane's going to have a field day.
Right. Okay.
Oh, more protest then, Craig. After the final whistle.
Well, look. Even if we do win, I don't even think we're going to get anywhere near playoffs anyway. We're so inconsistent. We're consistently inconsistent. That's how inconsistent we are. You know,
if we lose 4-1, Craig, we're going to be consistent.
Very consistent, yeah, very.
If we're inconsistent, we're going to win.
We can't score though. That's the issue. If we could score, then we could be.
Then that's consistent.
More consistent to winning.
Look, we're playing with a rainbow football, so trust me. So look what happened in Wizard Oz up at Rainbow. It's going to happen.
Wow. Well, I did hear Michael Duff's post-match, and he was saying that they can't score either. Their problems are in the box. I thought, mate, you don't know half of it.
Yeah, have a go at our club.
Yeah. So, Andy?
If we only had a heart, Alan, that's what we need if we're going that Wizard of Oz.
Some courage. Awesome courage.
Exactly that.
I'd just like some red shoes to take me home when we're going to wander down. There we go.
Right, well, just one question. Don't answer this, Al. Who's Wicked Witch then in it then? No, it's not. Don't, Tracy. Don't take on the mantle, Tracy. Don't let them draw you, Tracy. Jane Elliott. It'll be Jane Elliott.
Oh, yeah, thanks, yeah. Because I'm wearing black and that, you know, I thought...
Look, I'm retired from box now.
Oh, God.
Just, I'll take my prescription. My prescription is that we need to win 2-1.
Have you been something with Al's on?
But we need to win 2-1. Are we going to win 2-1?
If we win 2-1, I will be that night. Yeah. We're going to win. We're going to win 2-1. Just remember, for any, you know, the 5 or 6 people that are still watching this, it's bring a non-perishable item to Oakwell to, you know, for food banks and what have you. So tins of beans or tomatoes or whatever.
Not to throw at the players, Andy.
Definitely not to. No, that'd be wholly inappropriate. Wholly inappropriate.
Are we all becoming delusional?
A good cause.
Support the good causes.
So 2-1 to Barnsley. Inconsistent, so we're going to win.
Well, I'm going 2-1, but the other way around. I think 2-1 to Huddersfield, unfortunately. So I'm going to stick with our consistency.
Just me and thee then, Al.
The drought of points is still going ahead, is it?
Right, well, let's hope that's cheered you up on a midweek evening. I'm sure it has, because that's been loads of positivity from us. The original Happy Clappers, lots of positivity coming from us there.
For them that watch it anyway, because we're still called Happy Clappers, but they don't watch us anymore.
Anyway,
so I don't know.
As the song goes, things can only get better.
Don't start singing, Al, please.
Maybe instead of Country Roads, they ought to play Journey's song, Don't Stop Believing.
One of my favourites. I think we should definitely go with that. Yeah.
I'm thinking Highway to Hell at this moment in time.
Right, and on that note, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing. Let us know what you think in the comments below and your score predictions. And feel free to come and join us for fan cam after the game on Saturday. But remember, there's no swearing's allowed. And we'll get our instant reaction out to you on Saturday evening. But for now, see you on Saturday, 3 o'clock.